Nathan Cruz with Carlson Software, and in this video I'd like to introduce Carlson Precision 3D Topo 2016. This is an initial release for this product, and it is a 3D design environment, so that supports uh, importing of data from land XML files, Carlson 10 grid, and also DXF files. We can also import survey data from Carlson CRD files, Carlson PLN polyline files, and CL centerline files. And we also have a field to finish feature. Once you get these surfaces brought in, we have lots of surface editing commands and polyline commands, creating your own points, inserting 3D models, image overlays, measuring tools, slope inspectors, and then we have these specialized snaps that make working with polylines, objects, and 10 vertex snaps, center of face snaps, an absolute breeze. So what I'm going to do is just open up a quick file. And so as we explore the file menu, we have load land XML. So we essentially have three or so primary file formats that are typically used. We do have our scene files, which is a Precision 3D specific scene file that contains all of the information, the tins, the textures, and so forth that you see in your scene is saved to that one single scene file. We can also read and write to land XML 2.0 files, and in this case, land XML 2.0 files, which contain all of the textures and polylines and objects, and looks exactly the way that you see here on the screen. We can also select a surface, and we can save and export that surface as a Carlson 10, a TopCon TN3, or Trimble TTM file. And if you do have textures and colors assigned to your surface, we will create a colorized Carlson 10. It's the basics of navigation. So we have the middle mouse scroll wheel scrolls in and out for zoom. If you hold that mouse wheel down and move the mouse, that's our pan command. If you hold the left mouse down, that's going to give you your rotate. If you double click anywhere on the surface, it's going to zoom to that point, and basically it's a 50% zoom. If you control double click, that's a zoom out, basically by the same amount. So it makes getting around surfaces pretty quick and easy. Other things about Precision 3D is you'll notice that there's items both in the scene and in what we call our scene explorer. Whenever you select an object in the scene, you'll notice a bounding box that surrounds it. If it's a polyline, you get the bounding box, plus you also see the grips for the vertices. And in that case, once an object is selected, you can hit the delete key and delete it, or you can grip edit or move it around. You can also right click and get the context menu for things that you can do with a polyline, like remove vertex, which happens to clean that up pretty nice. So basically we have this object noun methodology. So basically you select your objects first, you right click, and then you do operations based on those objects. So here I've got a polyline and I get polyline types of things. So I can do a blend surface, I can add this as a break line, crop the surface, polyline specific things. If I select a surface, then I'm this is going to give you the object name. You also notice that it's selected in the Object Explorer as well. Here, I can select the texture that's under the mouse. I can start the Edit Surface command. I can initiate the Pad Template command. I can do a merge surface when you have multiple surfaces and put them together. Uh, show water runoff. So basically, as you move the mouse around, it's going to show you where the water is going to run under the cursor. And if you press enter, it will end the command, and it will also leave the last polyline standing there. If I hit escape, that'll cancel any command that you're in the middle of. And also, when we're in the middle of a command, you'll notice that we gray out all of the other options. So if your scene is gray, and the toolbars all appear disabled, then that means that you're in the middle of a command, and you can simply press escape to cancel the command, or right click or the enter key to accept that command. We do have a couple of specialized keyboard shortcuts, and one of those is for the edit surface command, and that is for as you move the mouse, you notice that we draw the actual tin faces and vertices on the screen dynamically, along with the textured mesh. So if I want to clean up this particular ridge line, uh, which looks like a bit of an anomaly, I could basically just select each point and hit the R key. And what that does is that removes those points from the surface. It's essentially the same as selecting the point and then doing the remove selected surface point option in Surface Edit. In our Surface Edit command, there's many different things that you can do, and we have various settings. So if I wanted to change this mouse wheel increment to 1/4 foot, what that means is if I select a point and then right click and use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down, it's going to move by 0.25 feet on each increment of the mouse wheel. So it's one way that I can drastically reduce that elevation. I can also go ahead and just type in an elevation for that point, and it will raise it up and down. I can show contours so that as you make modifications to the surface, you'll notice that the contours change and modify and are modified dynamically to give you that instant feedback as to what your design surface looks like. So you basically get the best of both worlds. You get to see all your triangles and faces sort of in this CAD perspective of the 2D plan, but then also we allow you to rotate that into 3D so that you can get more detail as far as what it looks like, and you're in a multi-textured environment, which gives you additional visual cues on things to do. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that surface, that point as well. And again, the R is a shortcut key here, simply to make this sort of operation a heck of a lot faster. I'm also going to do a quick swap triangle edge. And press enter to finish that particular command. So you can see with the surface editing, with the keystrokes are very straightforward. Again, we do limit the radius of the edit to for better performance. You can increase or decrease that radius by typing it in a new value there. If we go back to, let's say, 50 feet, and we want to recenter the editing, we can move it over to here. So just by selecting the center of editing, we can move our editing area and influence at will. And again, we have our object noun paradigm. So if I select this polyline in the scene, I can double click to zoom to it. If I double click on the surface, it's going to zoom to the extent of that. Same thing with all of these objects. If I select that again. If I right click in the scene, I'm going to get context sensitive menu. If I right click in the Explorer, I'm going to get the same menu. And certainly the delete key is one of the other shortcut keys that we do support. And we have unlimited undos, so I will undo that operation, and it's back. So that's really a brief introduction to the basic UI and layout. Now I'll go through the application settings quickly. So we do support multiple languages, and if you do have additional language translation files installed, you'll see a dynamic list of those appear here. You can change your default project path for where you want us to have you start looking for your project files. The data path and the model path are generally set by the application, and would really be more advanced user who may want to change to a different model set. You can change your skybox by simply selecting one of our pre-selected guys here, so that'll take from a dark and stormy into this more sunny sort of environment. The Windows Shell Explorer, so as I've shown before, we do have a thumbnail generator that's installed with the application, and what that allows you to do is basically see a 3D rendered image of what these files look like before you actually open them, and we do render these on the fly. In addition to the thumbnail preview, we also will show the contents in a dynamic 3D preview window. This is not a instance of the application itself, but simply the Windows Shell extension, so that you can see what these items look like before you open them. As far as units are concerned, we can you can load and save units. You can mix and match linear units, depth units, slope units, between metric and imperial. We also obviously support US survey feet. Pretty much any unit of measure that you're going to want to use around the world. Once you get your different units set and the precision, display precision for each one of these values, you can go ahead and save those as a custom set. For projections, we support obviously NAD 2783 UTM zones with your grid numbers. We also support well-known text. And this is an example. So if you have a well-known text coordinate system, basically you can copy it and paste it into this dialog, and that will set it to well-known text. We support this because in a lot of land XML files, coordinate systems are specified by using this well-known text technique, which we do also automatically set it to. So when you open up a land XML file and it has a coordinate system set, we automatically set this coordinate system to match. We also change all of your setting values to match the incoming land XML file. So if it's metric, you're going to get metric settings that actually came from the land XML file itself. So basically, you can open land XML files, open load 10 files that are either Carlson 10 grid. This will also load a single surface from a land XML file, so that's different from load land XML, which loads everything in the land XML file, from points to survey data to polylines, alignments, parcels, and plan features. And in this surface load, basically we're just going to load the single surface that's found in that file. You can also load a DXF surface as well if you have a DXF file. As far as saving is concerned, we always save in land XML 2.0 file. To save a tin, you would right click on the surface save export, and that'll allow you to save again to a 10 TopCon TN3 or TTM, since a lot of our customers use Precision 3D Topo as machine control, surface editing, just to make sure that the surface is absolutely perfect and ready to go. So we allow you to export directly to the most common file formats for machine control, which is land XML, Carlson 10, and the TopCon and Trimble file formats as well. We also allow you to modify and import 3D objects. These objects are in an industry standard OBJ file format. You can also add an object and bring in your own. So if you go to SketchUp, for example, and it looks like I have a little car model here, it'll go ahead and import that particular model from SketchUp, and basically we create an OBJ version of it. But in that way, you can easily import your SketchUp files and OBJ files and basically add your own content. So we ship with streetlights, various sundry road furniture. We have some oil tanks, some wind turbines, a few sample vehicles, uh, and trees that come with the basic pack. But again, this is a user customizable tool, so you can download your own SketchUp files or OBJ files, and you can easily add them to your gallery. To bring one of these into the scene, you basically just double click on it and just start picking points. When you're done, you can either press escape or the enter, or the right mouse button will end that. Once an object is inserted, the red grip is the scale, the blue grip is always the move, which is the same as the blue grips on the polylines, and then this yellow ball is the rotation grip. And that's your basic introduction to object selection and manipulation in P3D, the basics of file import and loading of surfaces, and how to execute commands based on all of those. And we'll provide continued videos in this series to go over the details of lots of the different features and functionality that we provide in this first release of Precision 3D Topo.